You are loved. That's funny. Yeah, Okeechobee, we are good to go.
Turn right at the traffic light.
It's funny, I don't know what it is, but in comparison to the load that I just hauled out to Kansas City, Missouri, which was like just under my gross. It was like 79,000 some odd thousand, or whatever, 79,000 some odd hundred. For some reason, this load just feels heavy, like compared to that load. I don't know what it is, but it sure isn't. I don't know. It's only like, I think I was like 70 or 71,000 gross right now, and I got about like 30,000 on my tandems and like 28,000 or something on my drives, which is perfectly fine. But for some reason, it just feels heavy. Like, I don't know, kind of weird. Even going up some of these little rises as we go through these hilly areas, in comparison to that last load, it does. It feels like the truck is struggling more on this one than it was on the last one. So I don't know. I don't know why, but I guess maybe it's just my imagination. But I do feel better now, actually, knowing that I'm legal, of course. I thought I was actually going to have to slide my tandems forward, but that would have been the opposite direction to go with them. If anything, I would have slid them back, put more weight on the drives, but I have no need to. I don't know. I wasn't going to say nothing about this, but I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. So this morning, what time? I got up at think it was like 6 or 6:15 local time out there, back there in Kingdom City at the Petro. And basically, you know, I needed to fuel up before I left, so just hopped in the seat and pulled over to the island and fueled the truck up, you know, before I even went inside and got myself together. And so I'm there, and let me see, was it before or after? I guess it was right after I got my tanks filled up. And, you know, basically what you do is, you know, I think the common courtesy is to, you know, fill up your tanks and then pull forward, you know, far enough so any other trucks incoming can fuel up behind you. And so when I finished fueling up the tanks, put the nozzles back in the thing, hopped in the driver's seat, and I just happened to notice, I mean, I couldn't not notice, this truck that had pulled up in the island directly to the right of the island that I fueled up at. And it was directly between me and the store, right? So basically, I was at the number 2 bump, I guess, maybe you could call it. And this truck pulls up, and it pulled up not to where it needed fuel, but it didn't pull up far enough to make room for another truck to come in and fuel up behind it, right? He just kind of left his trailer there in the fuel island, and so I noticed that, right? I just kind of noticed things. And the driver opens the door, and I saw right from the get-go this big, massive leg, right? And he was wearing shorts and or maybe it was, I didn't even do it, it'd been like sweats or pajamas, I don't know. And this guy was just so freaking obese. It was shocking. And he was so obese he could barely even lower himself out and down the steps of the truck without, like, kind of just pouring out. I don't know. It was just shocking. I don't know. You know, what he was doing was he didn't need to fuel, I guess, apparently, but he just felt the need to block the fuel island. What he was doing was getting rid of his bag of trash that he had in there, you know, and, you know, like we all do. We all have our trash can or whatever. I have a bucket, you know, with a bag in there. I put bags in there, you know, get rid of my trash as necessary. And so that's what he was doing. He was just getting rid of his trash and maybe whatever else, you know. And he was doing it. The reason why he pulled in the way he did was because, I mean, the guy was so obese and just I mean, honestly, just disgusting. I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying it's, and you know, that obviously he probably would have a lot of trouble walking from a parking spot to a trash can, you know. And it was just, my God, I just couldn't freaking believe it, you know. Like, I mean, you see heavy people driving trucks. You know, that's kind of the way it's always been, you know, but this guy was just obese, just, what's the word, mortally obese, or morbidly obese, there we go, morbidly obese. And, man, I don't know, that's a scary thing. It is, that's a scary thing to me. I don't know how he could have possibly passed his physical. As you know, to be an interstate driver, you have to pass a physical. man, I don't know how he passed it, and I don't know who the doctor is who passed him, but that's seriously a problem. Like, somebody like that should not be able to pass. That's the whole point of going in and getting a physical done, is to make sure you're healthy enough to be able to safely operate 80,000 pounds, an 80,000 pound missile, you know, and you know, that your physical health isn't gonna become a safety issue, and that guy is a safety issue. I mean, that's all there is to it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you don't have to put you don't have to do lab work. You don't have to put a blood pressure, you know, thing on him. You don't have to, you know, take a urinalysis. You don't have to do anything more than just look at the physical appearance of the guy to know that this guy should not be operating an 80,000 pound missile, and you know, over state lines or in any event. I mean, because yeah, I mean, that's just seriously unhealthy. I mean, the guy, you know, could have a heart attack probably at any moment, you know, or, you know, go into a diabetic coma, or you know, doze off, you know, from eating. You know, it's just, I mean, what's the point of doing physicals if that kind of guy's going to pass it? If he's going to be, you know, I don't know. I mean, not saying anything judgmental or about, you know, maybe he's a great character and a really good guy, but there's just something wrong with that, I think. I mean, not to mention the fact that there's no way that that guy can perform a proper pre-trip inspection of his truck. He just can't do it. There's no way you can do it. Some of the stuff that you need to inspect on your truck to make sure it's safe to haul thousands of miles requires getting down and getting underneath the trailer, and, you know, and checking your air pressure and your tires and stuff like that. And it just, you know, some of the heavier guys, you know, who are, you know, even they would have a difficult time doing it, but I'm sure that they probably could. It would be a heck of a chore, probably, and so they probably would do it far less than somebody who's in better, you know, physical health. But this guy, there's no possible way he could do a proper inspection. How on earth he got his driver's license? I mean, unless he got it like 20 years ago and before he became obese like that. But I mean, how could you possibly? I don't know. I mean, there's things that I do when I do my pre-trip inspections that are difficult for me, just due to the fact that, you know, my body, you know, I put my body through a lot in the you know, tile profession. You know, I mean, I did. I had back surgery, you know, a year ago, and, you know, I mean, that's, you know, that was having that happen, the injury and the, you know, and the surgery, and it was a lifestyle change. I couldn't do what I used to be able to do physically anymore. You know, it's just, that's the way it is. You know, and so even with that, you know, and I mean, I'm in pretty good physical health, you know. Even with that, you know, doing some of that stuff is a little, you know, I'm not a young man anymore. I'm basically what I'm getting at. And so I'm slow at some things, I guess, maybe, slower than I used to be. And I'm still actually probably faster than most, you know, but so I just can't imagine how that guy can possibly do a proper inspection on anything. I mean, he probably can't inspect his own body. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Something seems really wrong with that. It just does. It pretty well goes against the whole concept of doing a physical for safety purposes. I just don't see it. I don't know. And see somebody let themselves go like that, it's a shame to see. I mean, man. I mean, I'm talking obese. I mean, I'm not talking about overweight, heavy set, big boned. I'm talking about morbidly obese. Could barely lower himself safely out of the driver's seat of his truck. I mean, seriously, it was a chore for him to get out of the seat, or to get down, climb down. I mean, I can't imagine him having to climb back up. I didn't stick around to watch that, you know. So that's rough. So anyhow, I don't know. I just felt the need to get that off of my mind there. It's just, man, I don't get it. You know. Yeah. It's funny. I mean, whereas when I went and did my physical, I was actually like nervous about doing it. Just as like, man, I hope I pass. You know. And I'm like, and now I see somebody like that. I'm like, oh. Well, how could I not? You know, crazy. So anyhow, so we got 1.5 miles to go, where we'll be hopping on 270 South, and that's gonna basically take us over to, I think, what is it, 55, I think.
In 1 mile, take exit 276 on the right to I-270 South, then keep right.
You know, it's funny. I was sitting there saying I'm not being judgmental, but maybe I should be. I don't know. You know, maybe somebody should be with a guy like that. Maybe people should be judgmental. You know, maybe being non-judgmental about him is doing a less of a service to him. You know, maybe being judgmental is a service to somebody like that. Yeah, be judgmental. You know, shame him. You know. Of course, he probably already feels fairly guilty over it, I imagine, but maybe that's just not enough. You know, maybe it's more of a service to somebody like that to you know, to be judgmental of them, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Be in the right lane.
Make them realize that that's really not okay for themselves, and it's not okay for everybody else. That's my big point, is, you know, you want to go just, you know, do some regular, you know, job that has nothing to do with safety, go, by all means, go ahead and do it. But we're talking about the safety of other people on the roadways. That is something that should be judged about, right? You know, I don't know. That guy shouldn't be driving a big truck. He just shouldn't be. If you saw the guy I'm talking about, you would probably you'd be nodding your head and be like, yeah, that's not good.
In 5 miles, take exit 1A on the right to I-55
I mean,
South.
just the fact that he can't do a pre-trip inspection properly should be reason enough not to have him driving a truck. Whether or not he can safely operate the thing without, like, passing out or having a heart attack or diabetic coma or something, you know, or otherwise, whether or not he can actually do that, the fact that he can't, like, check his brakes, you know, check his airlines, that's big stuff. That's an important thing. Those are important details. I mean, I don't know. I think I've said enough. I mean, how could he actually possibly ever climb up at the back of his trailer and secure a load with load straps? I don't see it being possible. It's not possible. It's just not. There's just no way you can do it. There's just no way. And he wasn't even young. He wasn't old. He was probably somewhere middle aged, late 30s or something like that. I guess. Let's see here. Where are we? Anyway, St. Louis. Yes, that's what I thought. We're in St. Louis, technically, officially. And yeah, what else here? 287 miles remaining to reach Memphis. I-55, St. Louis, Memphis, 2 miles.
Exit 1A on the right to I-55 South, then keep right. Exit 1A on the right to I-55 South, then keep right.
That is not an echo you're hearing. That is Sheila B and Sheila D. Trying to
be in either of the 2 right lanes.
Trying to compete with each other. I got Sheila B's volume turned down almost to a point of not being inaudible because I want to hear Sheila D more than Sheila B. But I love them both equally. They both have their place. They both have their positive sides and negative sides, I guess. So it's yeah, it's nice
Continue
having.
on I-55.
having them both working for me at the same time. Here, I'll show you what it is, how I have them set up here. So there goes Sheila D, right, the truck GPS, and she's set basically with a 3D setting. Okay, and then here's Sheila D, or I mean Sheila B. That's Sheila D, that's Sheila B. And I have her set to a bird's eye, you know, basically, so I can see where I am from, you know, from a bird's eye perspective, and then north facing up. So that way I kind of always know, just by looking, you know, exactly what direction I'm headed without needing like a compass setting or anything like that. And I can zoom in and out so I know where I am, you know, like in proximity to other streets, or I can, you know, that's zoomed in or zoomed out, and I can know where I am in proximity to, you know, the lines of the state, or, you know, what have you. You know, so it's really kind of cool. I'm digging it. I like it a lot. Yeah. I highly recommend, if anybody out there watching this, looking into being a truck driver or is a truck driver, and you just have one, it's, you know, it's worth going in, picking up a second one. It just is. I don't know. You know, I got Sheila D for, you know, the Garmin Diesel 780 for $300 online plus tax or whatever, and I got the other one, which is just a regular car one, for like 200. So for $500, I have what, you know, better navigation than if you had spent like $600 on one. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool having it this way. But if you are going to be using it for a truck, don't get a little screen one. Just don't. It's, you know, I see guys who have the little screen ones, and having 7-inch screens, you know, and having 2 of them, you need it. You really do. You're driving a big truck, you need to, you know, you got a big windshield, you got a lot of space inside here, a lot of distance between, you know, where you're going to have it mounted on the windshield and where you're sitting. So the larger the better. You know, I mean, if you're in a large vehicle, having a large screen is absolutely appropriate and practical. So anyhow, with all that, I'm going to wrap this one up. And once again, hope you're all doing well. And I will see you somewhere on down the road. Take care.